Welcome to Mindset for Wealth, where
9 out of 10 side hustles are complete garbage. I'm not saying that to be provocative. I'm saying it because it's the mathematical truth. These hustles you see on social media, the ones promising financial freedom from your couch, they're a lie. They are a trap designed to waste your most valuable asset, your time. Why are they garbage? Because people forget one critical number, a number that separates the amateurs from the professionals. That number is 15.3%. That is the trap. And today, I'm not just going to show you the trap. I'm going to show you the real hourly wage you are actually making from your business. And I promise you, the number will shock you. It might even make you angry. It should. This is Mindset for Wealth. My name is Your Name, and for 20 years, I've analyzed the financial world. This is not a channel for get-rich-quick fantasies. This is a channel for brutal truth. We don't sell dreams here. We do the math. If you're ready to stop playing games and start building real wealth, subscribe, because the truth is the only thing that will set you free. All right, let's talk about 15.3%. When you work a 9 to 5, you are a W-2 employee. Your employer pays half of your FICA taxes. That's Social Security, 6.2%, and Medicare, 1.45%. You only pay the other half, totaling 7.65%. Your employer handles the other 7.65%. It's a 50-50 split. But the moment you decide to start that side hustle, whether it's driving for Uber, freelance writing, selling things on Etsy, or consulting, you stop being an employee. In the eyes of the IRS, you are now a business owner. You are self-employed. And when you are self-employed, who pays that other 7.65%? You do. You are now responsible for both halves, the employees and the employers. 7.65% plus 7.65% equals 15.3%. This is the self-employment tax. And here's the part that nobody tells you. This tax applies to every single dollar of net profit you make, starting from just $400 for the entire year. It doesn't matter if you're in the lowest tax bracket. It doesn't matter if you get a refund. You owe this 15.3% on top of your regular federal and state income taxes. Let's put this in perspective. You go out and hustle for a week and make your first $1,000. You're excited. You think you have $1,000. You don't. Immediately, $153 of that belongs to Uncle Sam. Poof. Gone. Before you've even paid a dime in federal income tax. Before your state government has taken its cut. You're not just a business owner. You're the government's #1 collection agent. And you're paying them for the privilege. This is the first hidden cost. It's the filter. If your side hustle isn't profitable enough to even survive this 15.3% hit, it's not a business. It's a hobby, and it's an expensive one. You are, in effect, paying to work. It's madness. But this is just the beginning of the calculation. This is just the first cut. What I'm about to show you next is what I call the real wage calculation. We're going to take that $1,000 and we're not just going to stop at the 15.3% trap. We're going to subtract everything. The taxes, the fees, the software, the gas, and then we're going to divide it by the number of hours you actually worked. The hours you spent driving, emailing, creating, and stressing. You think you're making $50 an hour? That's cute. Let's do the math. So you think you're making $50 an hour. That's what you told yourself. Let's create a character. Let's call him Freelance Frank. Frank is a graphic designer. He has a good 9 to 5. He decides to start a side hustle on nights and weekends. Frank lands a project. The client agrees to $1,000. Frank is thrilled. He estimates it will take him about 20 hours of work. He does the math in his head. $1,000 divided by 20 hours, that's $50 an hour. I'm a genius, he thinks. I'm making $50 an hour on the side. I'm building an empire. Frank is an idiot. Let's do the real math. Let's build what I call the real wage calculation, and let's put Frank's empire on trial. We start with his revenue. $1,000, a nice round number. Step 1, the 15.3% self-employment tax. As we discussed, this is the first trap. This is the non-negotiable fee you pay to the IRS just for the privilege of working for yourself. 1,000 revenue at 0.153 SE tax equals $153. This $153 is gone. It was never yours. It goes straight to the government for Social Security and Medicare. Remaining cash, $1,153, $847. Frank's $50 rate is already a fantasy. He's down to $42.35 an hour, $847 for 20 hours. But we are just getting started. Step 2. Federal and state income tax. Oh, you thought you were done with taxes? That's adorable. That $847 is ordinary income. It gets added right on top of your 9-to-5 salary. Let's assume Frank is a competent professional. His W-2 job puts him squarely in the 22% federal tax bracket. And let's say Frank is lucky enough to live in a state with income tax like California or New York. We'll be conservative and call it an 8% state tax. That's a 30% combined marginal tax rate, 22%, 8%. Now, the IRS does give you one small break. You get to deduct half of that 153 to SE tax from your taxable income. So you deduct $76.50. Taxable side hustle income, $1,000, $76.50 equals $923.50. Total income tax owed, $923.30. Combined rate equals $277.05. So let's take that $277.05 out of the $847 in cash we had left. Remaining cash, $847 to $77.75 use $569.95. Let's pause. Just stop and look at that number. Frank's $1,000 project has evaporated. It's now $569.95. Almost 43% of his money, $430, vanished into thin air, paid to 2 different government entities. And he hasn't even paid for the tools he used to do the job. His $50 per hour empire, it's now $28.49 an hour, and we are still not done. Step 3, the hidden costs of doing business. These are the small fees, the ones Frank ignores, the ones that bleed him dry like 1,000 paper cuts. Frank uses special software for his graphic design. That's $29.99 a month. He pays for his own website and portfolio hosting. That's $15 a month. The client paid him through a platform like Stripe or PayPal, which took a 3% transaction fee. That's $30. He used his home internet, his personal phone, and his own electricity. Let's be extremely nice and call that just $20 attributable to this project. What are his total costs for this $1,000 project? Let's just add up the direct ones. $30 for the transaction fee. Let's say this one project used 1/4 of his monthly software and hosting fees. $45 for equals $11 or $25. We'll add that $20 for utilities. Total costs $30 fee plus $11.25 software, $20 net utilities is $61.25. Remaining cash, $569.95. That says $61.25 equals $508.70. This is his actual take-home profit, $508.70. From $1,000, he lost nearly 50% of his revenue to taxes and fees. Step 4, the real hourly wage, the climax. Now we take his profit and we divide it by his time. Frank thought he worked 20 hours. He billed for 20 hours. But he forgot. He forgot the 2 hours he spent prospecting to get this client. He forgot the 1 hour he spent on the proposal and contract. He forgot the 2 hours he spent doing revisions the client asked for. He forgot the 1 hour he spent sending the invoice and chasing the payment. He forgot the 2 hours of admin work, setting up the project folder, and researching. Frank didn't work 20 hours, he worked 28 hours. And now, the final calculation, the number that defines his hustle. Total take-home profit, $508.70. Total real hours worked. His real hourly wage is $508.28 equals $18.60 per hour. Let that sink in. $18.60. Frank, our $50 consultant, is actually making $18.60 an hour. The minimum wage in many major cities is over $17 in teens. He could make more money with zero risk, zero liability, and zero stress by getting a job at a coffee shop. His side hustle isn't a business. It's not an empire. It's a low-wage job that he has created for himself. It's garbage. It's a complete and total waste of time. $18.16 an hour. What does that number actually mean? It means Frank is a fool. He traded his most precious asset, his time, for pennies. He took on all the risk of a business owner, all the headaches, all the legal liability, just to earn slightly more than a minimum wage employee. And here's the most brutal part. Frank's $18.06 is a best-case scenario. I was generous. I assumed he was a high-skill graphic designer. What if your side hustle is driving for a rideshare app? What if it's delivering food? You aren't billing $1,000. You're billing $20. Your revenue is what the app tells you it is. Your expenses aren't software. They are gasoline. They are insurance. They are depreciation on your car, your second largest asset, which you are grinding into dust for a few dollars. I've seen the data. The real hourly wage for many gig economy workers after the 15.3% tax trap, after gas, after car maintenance, is often less than $10 an hour. In some cases, it's $5 an hour. It's a trap. It's a complete waste of time. And in my world, when something consistently loses money, or in this case, wastes time, it has a name. It's a cockroach. A cockroach is a business that doesn't make money. It just scurries around in the dark, eating your resources, draining your bank account, and sucking up your time. And what do I do with cockroaches? I don't optimize them. I don't scale them. I take them behind the barn and I shoot them. You have to kill them. Your $18 an hour side hustle, it's a cockroach. Your $10 an hour gig, it's a cockroach. You are not an entrepreneur. You are an intern working for free. No, worse. You are paying for the privilege of being an intern in your own failed business. It's madness. But the financial cost isn't even the real cost. The $18.16 isn't the scariest number. The scariest number is 28 hours. Where did those 28 hours come from? They came from his life. They came from his nights. They came from his weekends. They came from time he could have spent with his family, time he could have spent resting, time he could have spent at his real $50 W-2 job, maybe earning a promotion, or time he could have spent learning a skill that would actually build scalable wealth. Instead, he sold that time for $18.16. This is the cost of burnout. You look tired. You know why? Because you're working 60, 70 hours a week, 40 at your real job and 30 at your cockroach hustle. You're exhausted, you're stressed, your relationships are failing, and your health is declining. And for what? To make an extra $500? You know what you'll do with that $500? You'll spend $100 on takeout because you're too tired to cook. You'll spend $200 on therapy or a massage to deal with the stress. You'll spend $50 on energy drinks just to stay awake. You're not making money. You're just converting your life force into cash at a terrible exchange rate, only to spend that cash trying to buy your life force back. It is the definition of stupidity. The entire hustle culture is a lie sold to you by people who want you to stay poor. They want you to trade your time for dollars. Because as long as you are trading time for dollars, you are a laborer. You are not a capitalist. You are not an owner. An owner doesn't ask, how many hours can I work? An owner asks, how can I make money while I sleep? An owner asks, how can I build a system, an asset that scales? Your $18 hustle doesn't scale. You cannot work 200 hours a week. You will die. It has no leverage. It is a dead end. You have to change your mindset. You have to stop thinking like Freelance Frank and start thinking like an investor. An investor's number one rule is don't lose money. And your number one asset is time. Stop losing time. So how do we fix this? How do we turn this garbage into gold? Or more likely, how do we kill the cockroach and build a real asset? The fix is simple. You have to make a choice. Are you an intern or are you an owner? An intern trades time for a low wage. An owner builds equity. Right now, your $18 an hour hustle makes you an intern in your own life. To fix it, you stop trading time and you start building assets. How? You stop being a freelancer and start being a business. A business doesn't ask, how many hours can I work? It asks, how can I scale? A business doesn't charge $50 an hour. It charges $5,000 for a result. You stop selling time and you start selling value. You become a premium service, not a commodity. Or if you're making significant money, 50,000 plus, you stop acting like a sole proprietor. You incorporate, you become an S corporation. You pay yourself a reasonable salary and take the rest as a distribution. You stop paying that 15.3% tax on all your profits. You use the tax code to your advantage, and just like the rich do. So that is the mindset shift. You stop asking, how do I earn $1,000? And you start asking, how do I keep? Stop focusing on the $50 hour fantasy. Look at the $18.16 reality. If your hustle doesn't beat that number, if it doesn't scale, if it doesn't build an asset, it's a cockroach, and it's time for you to kill it. If you are ready to stop wasting time and start building real scalable wealth, you're in the right place. Subscribe to Mindset for Wealth. I am not going to sell you, Abdra. I am going to give you the numbers.